Hi, my name's Andy. Welcome back to another folding bike modification video. In this episode I'll be adding a front bag to my tern folding bike, but you can use this method for any bike that has this type of mount. I picked up this bag second hand. It cost me $2 and I figured it would be the perfect type of bag to add to the front of my bicycle. The first step will be to create a mounting bracket on the front. Here's what we'll be using. I'm using this curtain mounting bracket that I found. It cost me $1 from a second-hand shop, and I figured it might be perfect to use. For the bag mounting bracket, I'm using this pipe bracket. I plan to hammer it flat and make it fit. To mount the bracket to the bag, I'll use these bolts. To mount the bracket to the frame of the bike, I plan to use some parts that I already have from old bikes, and found that this bolt here out of an old brake caliper fit perfectly into the frame of my tern bicycle. Make sure that the bolts that you'll be using fit into the frame so as not to damage the threads. The first step will be measuring the distance between the two holes in the frame. On this bike it's 30mm. Now mark the points at 30mm on your bracket so you can drill some new holes to mount it to the frame. Always use the best tools that you can afford, and be sure to wear safety goggles while drilling metal. Now that the holes are drilled, this bracket is finished, and the only step left is to paint it and mount it to the frame. I've used some extra spacers to ensure a tight fit. Now it's time to make the bag bracket. Start by hammering it flat and then mark out where you're going to bend it, corresponding to the bracket on the frame. The idea is to create just enough space so that the bag will fit snugly onto the frame bracket. Here is our finished bag bracket, and it's ready to be bolted onto the bag frame. This is the piece of wood I'll be using for an internal frame on the bag. It's to create support, make sure that it's sturdy and that it doesn't move around while I'm riding. You can see the two holes I drilled initially on the bag frame. They were too high. It's important to have the bracket as low as possible on the bag frame so the bag doesn't rub on the wheel. Now it's time to mount our frame and our bracket to our bag. Ensure the bag fits to the frame bracket snugly and adjust accordingly. I've added a couple of extra steel supports onto the frame for extra strength. I just used a couple of steel spoons. You can use whatever materials you have at hand. The road test proves that the design works well. I'd say it could carry 2 to 3 kilograms. I wouldn't go carrying bricks around in this bag though. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.